If you look at Alexander Isak, what do you think of? You think of a big, tall guy, big frame, but very, very skillful, technically excellent, brilliant ball control, brilliant dribbling ability, fantastic finisher. Technically, Alexander Isak ticks pretty much every box. I'm not saying Hugo Ekitike does now or at this stage in his career, but if you were to compare all the strikers that we've been linked with to Alexander Isak, the one that is the most similar, and we all agree that Alexander Isak is the one that is most similar is Hugo Ekitike in terms of his skill set. What people are being put off by is the fact that Ekitike has got a 100 million euro release clause. Now that translates or converts to around about 85.6 million, I think, when I had a quick look at it this morning. But just because his release clause is at 100 million euros, that doesn't mean that Eintracht Frankfurt wouldn't be tempted by an offer of 70 million euros, 75 million euros. It doesn't mean that if the player was pushing from his side to get out of there and get down to Arsenal and in the Premier League and really forcing it from his side, that Eintracht Frankfurt wouldn't compromise on the asking price and wouldn't accept something lower. What I struggle with is if you're talking about Sesko at 80 to 100 million euros, and that's the price point that RB Leipzig is said to be hoping to kind of get to and achieve in these negotiations. And he scored less goals than Hugo Ekitike, who's got a slightly higher release clause. But again, there's the possibility that Eintracht Frankfurt deal at less. Why are people so sure about Sesko, but not sure about Ekitike? The records are pretty much similar. There ain't that much difference. If anything, Ekitike's is better. And the eye test tells me that Ekitike has the potential, I think, to go on and be a better player. Now, I'm not saying I don't want Sesko, and I'm not saying I don't want Gyökeres, and I'm not saying I'd be upset if we signed either of those two over Hugo Ekitike. But I just don't get why people are quick to dismiss Ekitike's ability, his potential. The Sesko signing is based just as much on potential as anything else.